Hello, everybody, and welcome to Power Talk, where we are going to be breaking down the top 10 users of the Dynasty. This is brought to you in part by Madden School, where you can save 20% off their unlimited package by using discount code DA Dynasty. Madden School brings you the best playbook breakdown school there is out there, so give them a look. That's maddenschool.com. All right, so today, man, we got a special episode going for you guys. We are going to be talking about the top 10 users in the Dynasty as voted on by the media team. I had everybody give me their top 10 lists, and we used a point system to break it down to, order them out. The lists were pretty close at the top two, but from there on down, man, it was, it was kind of all over the place. So we used a point system to, break it down and get the order right. And today on the mic, we have Terror Dome.
What's up, man? Terror Dome in the building.
We have Ines Yakokamish.
Yeah. Hi.
And then we got Mr. SJ Fresco Bomb himself.
What's good, everybody?
All right, so we're going to go ahead and kick this thing off, man. So right now, you guys should see 10 blank spaces on your screen. Those 10 spots will be filled with 10 users, going from 10 down, all the way down to the number 1 user in the Dynasty. All right, so kicking it off, coming in at number 10. Actually, let me take that back. I had to talk about a couple guys here. I'm getting a little ahead of myself here, so I'm gonna hold this off for a second. There was a couple guys I wanted to talk about. Number 1, this guy did not make the list, but he is, a very good user as far as on the defensive side of the ball. I'm talking about Indy Jones. I kind of thought about it. I was like, man, why is he not making the list and everything? We kind of talked about it, and the guy is great on defense. He got great user defensive skills. One of the things I think is if he can get this right, he will be in the top 10, no doubt, on the very next top 10 list. I think he needs to work on his ability to adjust on the fly. Now, he does have the Carolina Panthers coming in Madden 17, so that's going to be a huge help for him. He was doing what he was doing with a pretty bum Niners team. But, I felt like watching some of his games and stuff and watching, him play the number 10 guy on our list, actually, he was unable to really do anything against him, and that's because, the guy had Indy Jones's offense down. And if you guys agree with this, Indy Jones, if you shut down his offense, he has a really hard time adjusting and coming up with ways to put points on the board.
Yes. Yeah. It's Ines here. Indy Jones, I would say, definitely has one of the best user defenses that I've faced. He definitely makes you think about your particular scheme. Offensive-wise, straightforward. He's going to either drag you. Definitely prefers to run the ball outside toss, which he's very good at. Speed is the name to his game, and he does it very well. I would just say he was just a product of coming in late, and as Snags mentioned, he had a pretty piss-poor San Francisco team, but definitely turned him into a playoff team. So I'm looking forward to see how he'll do with his preferred Carolina Panthers, since he is from North Carolina. He's definitely see what he can do with Cam Newton instead of Logan Thomas, who we had last year for the 49ers.
Yeah, he definitely like one of the plays I always key on is whenever he goes to that shotgun 5 wide is that QB draw. He's either going to come QB draw or over the middle, but he does it really well, and he will catch you off guard with it, and he will pick up a first down. But he is a great user. I feel like he's going to be in the top 10 list very shortly, and he'll probably be there for a little while. And then, you guys have anything else you wanted to say on Indy Jones, Chris or SJ or Terror or SJ?
This Terror Dome, I got something I want to speak on. I want to talk about key players, man. Key players that I want to see Indy taking control of in Madden 17. You're going to have a high-power offense featuring Cam Newton, Benjamin, which he lacked, I think, in Madden 16. So I'm looking forward to see what he's going to do with the high-power offense. We already know he's good on defense. Like y'all mentioned, he's going to have key guys also on defense with Luke Kuechly, Coleman and stuff like that. So I'm just want to look forward to seeing how his offense is going to be now that he's coming in with a more high-power offense. We all know he can play the defensive side, but like we all stated, we want to see if he can adjust that offense to get that offense clicking to where as though that we know once he does that, he will definitely be on the top 10 of next year.
Absolutely. SJ, did you have anything, or are we good to roll on to the next one?
Just real quick, anybody who could put together that team the way he did, they had speed, but that was about it. I think it was like a 72 overall, and he made it to the playoffs. So anybody can work with that team. Definitely should be recognized when they then inherit the Carolina Panthers after that.
Yeah, absolutely. He will be on this list.
He should be good. Yeah.
All right, another guy I want to talk about. Just a little quick thing about this guy. I would say 3 to 4 seasons ago, he probably wouldn't even be close to this top 10 list. But he's probably one of the most improved users outside of a guy who just left the league in Portugal. I think that guy was the most improved. But this guy, Sunshine, he's probably right there behind him as one of the more improved users in the game. He didn't make the top 10 list, but I feel like if he keeps growing at the rate he does, we will see him on some top 10 lists coming in the future. Definitely a guy that's grown as a player.
He definitely got better.
And then this guy, I think the only reason why he's not on the list is because he's only been here for one season, and that's the reigning Super Bowl champ, King Vitamin. To win the NFC South with the New Orleans Saints, and then to go on and win the Super Bowl right after that is, that's saying something. And I think, I think he's going to do great things in 17, and he will be also on this list at some point.
Yeah, he's definitely my sleeper. I definitely like his game. He's actually enthused to be using the Cleveland Browns, which I'm happy because that seems to be one of the hardest teams to fill due to their recent history. But his scheme works. The Saints, perfect segue with Sunshine, as he was the original Saints, and as you mentioned, that team wasn't quite taken care of like we like to in the Dynasty. So he switched, went to a better situation. And also with that situation came him improving his skill set, which led to him being mentioned on this list. So I give him more time. And, if he continues to do what he's going to do with the Jets, he can definitely move on up in the power rankings. But King Vitamin definitely caught my eye. Very humble guy.
Yeah, you heard him on the interview, man. He's a student of the game.
Yeah, came in, did what he had to do. Anything we requested of him, he did. And then, fruits of his labor is the 2022 Super Bowl championship. So definitely looking forward to see what he does with those Cleveland Browns in 2017.
Chris, did you get a chance to play King Vitamin in the playoffs?
I actually didn't get a chance to play him, but I definitely kept a close eye on him, man. One thing I can say is he took a team that wasn't even mentioned, that just fell completely off the map. Like, they fell completely off the map. He came right in, placed his schemes in, his type of play style in, and he just went off like a rocket, man. Like, he was focused. You could tell he was focused throughout the whole season. And he just basically, what I think is, wanted to let us know that he's for real. And he showed that by winning the Super Bowl. Like, that's the number one thing you could do by backing up your game, man. He came into a league fresh, and he definitely stamped his name on it by coming in as a first-year user and taking the Super Bowl. I'm looking forward to seeing the things that he can do in Madden 17 with the Browns. But, much respect to him, man. It takes a lot to win a Super Bowl, man. It takes a lot.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I played him in the regular season. He beat me on the last-second field goal. But he's real methodical with it. You can tell he's not just running YouTube plays. I mean, he's running basic plays, taking what's there, and just going up and down the field the best he can. That team wasn't really as bad as Sunshine led us to believe. I mean, they had a QB was decent, but he did come in, and I think he lost one game.
Yep,
his first season, so definitely a force.
Yeah, and you heard him on Late Night with the Champ whenever he said that he anytime anybody was posting a stream, he was sitting there watching and he was learning.
That's the key. If you know what's coming, I mean, that's half the battle right there.
Yeah,
so.
And I mean that's something I know me and Ness have done. I'm sure you guys do it too. You watch the streams, you learn based on that, and he came in right away and just started doing that. Gaining knowledge on his opponents and knowing exactly what to expect, and he turned it into victory. So I mean, he's a student of the game, and that's that's somebody who's going to be there for a very long time. All right, so that those were three guys we felt like deserved a little mention. They three guys that we see will probably be on a top 10 list in the future, but unfortunately did not make this list. But we are going to go ahead and count this down now, starting in at number 10. This guy came into the league pretty late, or I'd say 3 seasons ago it was, right? I think the 2020 season. He came into the league, took over a team, and he really turned them around. I know Chris said he wanted to go ahead and talk about this guy, but coming in at number 10 is Weedham Boys.
Yeah, man. I like to mention like Weedham Boys, man. Big props up to him because he took a team, the Seahawks, that wasn't even mentioned. Like it was a powerhouse team coming to Man 16, but they fell like off the road a little bit. But he got them back on track. Made key moves, showing great GM skills by trading players, drafting guys. I mean, put a good group of guys together to get the job done. Brought that smash mouth, run it down your throat football style back to the Seahawks after, losing Marshawn Lynch. He also showed that by leading the 2022 season in rushing yards. He all around, man, the guys to me is a good user, man. Like in the Dynasty, some guys just think, oh, it's just all about the game. But to me, it's showing that you can adjust your GM skills, getting guys in there. I mean, when guys decide to leave, you can't resign guys, filling in those gaps. And he showed great all-around user skills by getting that team back on track, man.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
looking
funny
for
you say that. It's funny. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's
you
funny you
good,
say
bro.
that because his running back Rodney Russell chose not to re-sign with my Steelers, and he picked him up.
Somebody's a little salty, man.
Yeah, to give a little history a little deeper, this is prior to Chris Terradone coming on, but the Seahawks, like you said, they were 16 in Man 16. They were built to win immediately with Chancellor, Smith, Lynch, Russell, Wilson, Baldwin. So they had large contracts. So the first 3 seasons, the original commissioner actually took them to either the NFC Championship game or the actual Super Bowl. Not winning the Super Bowl in any of those 3 seasons, but they were built to win early. The only problem with that is due to personal reasons, he had to, step down. And then that's when Dion took over and then brought myself and fellow Craft on. But that particular team had multiple contracts that they probably had like 3 or 4 players that set their cap. Like they had like $70-80 million contracts. And the user prior to him, I actually brought on, and he didn't do anything. I mean, we were going to free agency, and he might have had 17 players. And we actually were trying to make a deal with
Yeah, I
him.
remember that. Yeah.
Trying to make a deal with him to drop 2 players, and then we would reset his cap. He didn't want to. So, and the rest is history. He's not here anymore. But for Weedham Boys to take the team and do what he did, make them a formidable opponent, contender, and also the picking up of Nate Shaw was huge. So, that's definitely GM skills.
Which, on Nate Shaw, I want to say this. I'm gonna say this because I know he's gonna laugh about it when he hears this. We talk about it all the time. We were on the mic whenever that round was going, and he was asking me who I was looking at. I was like, man, I'm looking at this guy Nate Shaw, and I was like, I was probably like 5 or 6 picks after him, and he said he said he had him on his list and everything. So I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say he picked him because of me. The guy that he wanted got picked like 2 picks before him, and he went ahead and took Nate Shaw. But I mean, he did have him scouted. So I mean, he had his eye on him and everything. So I mean, that was a fantastic draft pick. I think he got him in either the 2nd or 3rd round. And he came out being a powerhouse wide receiver, so that's a huge pick. That was a huge pickup for him, and big props to him for making that draft pick, because I think he was projected in like the 6th or 7th round or something like that, if I remember right. So for him to come out and do that, and pick up a guy like that and then turn him into a really a number 1 wide receiver in Nate Shaw. was big ups to him.
Yeah, Nate Shaw and then Antonio Ward was my two favorite players. Nate Shaw had that long hair though, so.
Yeah, once we finish the countdown, I got a funny story for you all between myself and SJ in regards to Antonio Ward.
I might remove myself from that.
All right. So we them boys. I think I'm gonna say a couple things and we'll move on to number 9. We them boys. He definitely brought a different style of Madden to the league, in my opinion. You got 31 users who 9 times out of 10 they're going to be an air raid offense, and then he came in here and showed us that you don't have to. You can sit there and pound the rock and win games, and he did that. And I think out of anyone I've played and anyone I've seen, he does it the most effectively, and really he sticks to it too. Like even if he's off to a slow start, in the third quarter, he's still sticking to that run game, and eventually he's going to break it off and pick up those yards. So I think he definitely brought a whole new style of offense. Well, it's not really new because it's been in the league for a long time. But as far as like Madden goes, he brought a new style of Madden to the league, and that big ups to him on that too. All right, so we can go ahead and move right along here. That was number 10, Weedham Boys. He will be taking over the Cowboys in Madden 17. Coming in at number 9, we got Mr. Fellowcraft himself, the former Kansas City Chiefs owner. I'm gonna go ahead and let SJ take this one, as he is our AFC guru on the mic. Fellowcraft, doing big things with the Kansas City Chiefs. Took him a little bit to get it moving, but once he did, man, he did really well with those Kansas City Chiefs. SJ.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Yeah, I've known Tone quite a while, so to see him, I don't, for lack of a better word, struggle a little bit with those Chiefs was weird because he's usually 10-6 or better every year, no matter what league, what season it is. So it was weird to see him struggle with those Chiefs, but he finally got it going. I think Conley had like 5,000 yards. He figured something out, and he figured it out pretty good. So yeah, number 9. I expect to see him higher in 17 for sure.
Yeah, he's. I mean, you've seen him play. I mean, he's. You can tell that he knows the game, and plays it well. I think really with those Seattle Seahawks coming in at 17, he's going to do pretty good in that NFC. So I mean, I look to him to be a pretty good contender coming out early. Chris, did you have anything?
So he inherited a roughed up team too. So I think that could be why it took him a little bit to get it back on track.
Yeah. Chris,
Fellowcraft, man. Like soon when I came in the league, I don't know what it was, but I got something for Conley. Like I had my eye on him, so I was looking through everybody, seeing who had the Chiefs. And I seen that he had him, so I was trying every shot, man. Yo, can I get Conley? Can I get Conley? Can I get Conley? He wouldn't let go of him. So when I played him, I believe, one time, and I'm looking at him like, why ain't he using this guy Conley? And this last season, man, I just felt bad for every defense that went up against Conley because he figured it out, man. And I think if he would have figured it out earlier how to utilize him, he would have been dangerous, man. But like I said, big ups to him. You got to talk passing game when you talk about him, man. Like, he makes smart decisions with his quarterback. He know how to get guys open and use guys to their full potential. So I'm looking to see what he's going to do with the powerhouse Seattle Seahawks. If he doesn't make it either to the playoffs or the NFC Championship, he's selling himself short, man, because, like I said, he's an all-around good user. He just had a bummed-up team, but now he's getting that powerhouse team, and I would sure like to see what he's going to do with him.
Yeah, he's a great great guy to have in the league. Awesome co-commissioner, and he's even better on the field. So, that's a guy, with those Seattle Seahawks, I think he's going to do pretty A-okay in Madden 17. You got anything on him, Ness?
Oh yeah, definitely. Tone's my boy. That's my West Coast Broby. Yeah, he definitely. I played him once, so I don't have much intel for him. But the one time I played him, I did lose on a last-minute field goal, I believe. He wasn't using Conley like he did in the 2021 and 2022 season, I'm thankful for that. But the, the connection that we have between us is that his starting quarterback, Griffin Spencer, Beans, I don't know if you remember, he was the one I was going to draft right behind Ward in that draft. And I was going to have my quarterback wide receiver tandem. But, things happened and I didn't get anybody. But, to see.
Remember that draft? Think him and I talked about that pick too before you made it.
Yeah, I was supposed to get him at 12, but neither here. Great user. Definitely knows what he's doing. Another student of the game. We got a lot of those in the league, and just fair guy, and hopefully I can play him more than once this year, which I probably will since we're both NFC now. Well, he's NFC now, so definitely looking forward to see what he does with the powerhouse Seahawks.
Yeah, absolutely. So, fellow Craft, man, we look to you to be doing big things in Madden 17, man. Now you got a pretty good team to work with, so. All right, moving right along here. That was number 9, fellow Craft. Coming in at number 8. This is a guy that is on the chat, and I will say, take a knee, man. Take a knee. Coming in at number 8 is SJ Fresco Bomb, and the reason why I say take a knee, man, is because I remember a game, and I'm sure he remembers this one too. We were, I think it was either the season I went to the Super Bowl or the season after. I can't remember. We were playing each other. I think we were. The score was like 35 to 28 or 20, something like that. It was a close game all the way through, and he had the ball with. There was like a minute 20 left, and he got a first down. I think I might have had one timeout left. He could have just kneeled the ball, ran the ball, and killed the clock, but he ended up running a play action rollout play with Big Ben Roethlisberger. And I put a hit on him, and Roethlisberger fumbles it. I return it about 20 yards, step out of bounds, and I end up, driving down, scoring a touchdown, and winning the game. But whenever I played that game, man, I saw somebody who I was like, man, this guy's good. As far as like, I typically I'm pretty quick to adjust my defense to a certain offense. And he was by far at the time one of the hardest offenses I had figuring out. All game long. I think that's the only time I've played him, but that one game really stood out to me as one of the toughest times I've had on defense, and what he did with that offense was incredible. And I think he's got a pretty good Arizona Cardinals team to work with in Madden 17, so I think he's going to do big things with them. Every single
I have no idea why I decided to roll out with Big Ben in the red zone up 10. I have no idea why I did that.
Hey man, I appreciate it though.
Big Ben wasn't the same after that hit either. He was.
I will say, man, this guy. I mean, SJ was a powerhouse in the AFC every single season. Whenever I came into the league, I noticed him. It was him, Mittens, and then I can't remember his name, but he was the old Raiders user. And those three were like the big three in the AFC for a long time. And then, the Jets came on. The Raiders users had to bounce, and that's when George W. Cush took them over. And the AFC really, the picture of it all changed. And the two guys that stayed constant were SJ and Mittens. Mittens, getting Super Bowls. SJ, falling up short in the playoffs a few times. But, he was a fantastic user, a great team in the AFC. So I'll give him that. Chris, do you have anything on SJ?
Yeah, when you mention SJ, man, you gotta mention offense of excitement, man. The guy just puts together a bunch of different mixture of plays, whether it's a screen play, whether it's the wildcat, or whether it's just a big explosive play, man. When I played that guy, when I was on my Super Bowl run, every time he hiked the balls on the edge of my seat, I couldn't get to the point where it's like I felt as though that I was comfortable playing him on defense because I was so confused that sometimes he emotion a guy, but all right, I got to figure it out. Maybe he's going to run the screen. Then here you go, play action. Or like I said, man, the guy's a great offensive user as far as making you think on defense. You just can't come out and think you're going to pick one simple defensive play to shut him down because, like I said, he brings a different type of mixture of various plays to his offense. But I'm happy because he might not remember, but when we was playing, I think I was up and I think he either went for the 2, he went for the game-winning point, and I stopped him. And that actually got me first place in the NFC. So bigs up to him
Yeah,
making that
yeah.
mistake.
It was a nice play.
I remember that.
I swear, I think I lost a lot of last second games.
SJ, I'm starting to see a trend here, man.
Yeah, right. Me too. So am I.
Well, I can tell you this: he didn't lose last second against me. Because he darn sure beat me. The only time we played, and been in the league with him, we got
He was not.
we got history from when I was the Colts when I first came in the league and had beef with the old Titans user. Dude was he was a different breed of user, but we won't go there. But yeah, he definitely beat me. Like Terradome said, he had me. He used his tight end very well across the middle, and he just had me where I was like, okay, I know what he's going to do now, and then he would do something totally different. Wasn't a blowout, and I did notice that he was keying on Ward heavily. So
the entire game. The entire game.
That was a year where I didn't have a really good supporting cast. And what I did in 16 was I used Ward in the third spot because he would be in more plays and try to take advantage of mismatches. But he eyed him, so I would have to use my first and second receivers who were really probably fourth or fifth on anyone else's team. So he definitely held me off, and it's kind of upset because that was the one and only time we played and he beat me. But definitely since I've been in the league, he's always been. I would see those Steelers winning that division, and taking it into the playoffs, and then you know how the playoffs go. So you're either on or you're not.
It was a good battle. It was a good battle.
Yeah, it was definitely.
All right. So that was coming in at number 8. That was Mr. S.J. Fresco Bomb himself, looking to see big things out of the Cardinals in Madden 17. All right, moving right along here, we're going to go right into number 7. Number 7, that's Mr. Keystone taking over the Jacksonville Jaguars in 17. He was the He was the New York Jets in Madden 16. Winning that the AFC East 2 times, doing huge things with the New York Jets, a team that really, you really had to build, and he did that. He did just that in Madden 16. I look forward to playing him a lot in Madden 17. I have the Texans, and I'm looking for some really big matchups there. You guys have anything on Mr. Keystone?
I definitely do. Well, go ahead, Terrano.
Yeah, Keystone, man, I actually played the guy twice. The first time I played him, I actually came out on top. Second time, I wasn't too good. He did his thing, got his revenge back. But he brings a balanced game to the Dynasty, man, on both sides of the ball, man. That hard-hitting physical defense, which always causes users problems because they think a guy caught the ball, bow, he come out of nowhere, drops the ball. So that's get a little frustrated. So that could cause, users problems. But like I said, though, he got a well-balanced game as far as offense because he brings a style of pass and run. He's just not a one-headed horse, a double-headed horse because he runs the ball, passes the ball, runs the ball, passes the ball, and has a lot of explosive plays. He made one key move that I noticed, which actually changed the face of his offense. I think he got him from the guy, Sunshine, at wide receiver. I forget his name, but he was a speedy wide receiver that really opened up his offense. And once he got that guy locked in and was able to, get the maximum type of play out of him, his offense just went off like a rocket, man. So big ups to him. I think he turned the corner, but, after falling that one game short, a lot of users are usually fall off track. But, he came back next year strong. And he was just blazing, man. He was blazing.
The history with Keith Stone is very interesting. When he came into the league, of course, he was the Jets. But there was a Bills user who was a little ahead of himself. And I think the first year that they were in there, it was about week 4 or 5. And he changed his name in the chat to Running Away with the Division. And I think that lit a fire under Keith Stone because the rest is history, as you can see. He slowly took that division over. I played him one time. He beat me, of course. Early in the season, I'm definitely a slow starter. But one thing that frustrated me about him was that his run game was definitely legit. And he used Amaro, his tight end, very precisely.
Oh my
Meaning,
God, he
I
made him
knew,
look like
He does.
I knew I could bet my first and second born that he was going to throw the ball to Amara, and I would put 10 guys on him, and he would still get the darn ball to Amara. I think he had like 12 catches that game, and it wasn't like he was just looking for him every play. He would do two this quarter, three that quarter, two this quarter, and I'm just like, my gosh. And it was big ups to that because I like the way that he utilized him in the run game, and just from where he came from when he first started, where he was like, I'm gonna conquer this dude first, which was the Bills, took over the division, and then the rest is history.
SJ, you have anything on Keystone since y'all were in the same division? I'm sure you guys butted heads a few times.
Yeah, I think in him just about every matchup, but then like towards the end, man, I'm pretty sure I've never gotten beat like I did in the playoffs versus him. So he definitely improved every season. He made the right moves. Never really made a bad trade from what I remember. So yeah, I actually think he should be higher on this list, but yeah, he's good.
Yeah, Keystone. I mean, out of everybody on the list, I would say he is the most, as far as improvement goes. He has the greatest gap of improvement out of everybody on the list. So big ups to him. If he keeps doing that in 17, man, with those Jacksonville Jaguars,
Dangerous.
I take that back though, because I'm in that division. I'm coming after you, Keystone. Nah, but with those Jacksonville Jaguars, man, he's gonna be a powerhouse in that AFC. And I look forward to playing him twice a year, man, because it's gonna be huge every single time. That's gonna be a game.
I'm still mad he wouldn't trade me Jerick McKinnon though. He would not give him up for nothing.
All right, so that was number 7, Mr. Keystone, man, taking over the Jacksonville Jaguars in Madden 17. Did a great job with the New York Jets in 16. Moving right along, coming in at number 6 is Mr. Dat Boy Good, man. You want to talk about improvement. This guy really came into his own the last few seasons, doing huge things with those Tennessee Titans. Taking a team that really wasn't much of nothing and then really turning them into a consistently winning team. I think he went 14-2 in back-to-back seasons. Is that correct?
14-2.
So I mean, the only thing that kind of kept him down was he the first season he went 14-2. I think he had an early exit in the playoffs, which I think it was actually by the hands of Keystone, if I remember correctly. I can't quite remember, but then he ended up playing King Vitamin, who we mentioned earlier, in the Super Bowl this year. And if you guys watched the stream, all we said was, man, run the rock. But he did his thing. He really represented those Tennessee Titans really well, getting a Super Bowl appearance and having 2 huge seasons back to back. So big ups to Dat Boy Good. You guys got anything on Dat Boy Good?
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, you go, bro. My fault.
Just real quick, definitely, I like the way he took over the Titans team, stayed true to his scheme and what he likes to do and what he doesn't want to do, which makes for a good or bad GM. Managing the cap, getting the players that he wants, and just doing what he needs to do to catapult him to the upper echelon of Dynasty users. Again, back-to-back 14-2 in a very, very difficult AFC. And the funny thing is, I know myself and Snags have joked that, the championship, the NFC is harder, blase. But at that point in time, the champion was back-to-back Mittens, who was the Jags GM. So for the Titans, for him to go 14-2 in a tough AFC, I can admit that the AFC was tough. Is just kudos to him, man. Hats off for taking that team and turning them into a team that you look at on your schedule like, man, the Titans is coming to town. And then when he got Gurley in 2021, 2022, that was all he needed, because he was running with, I think he had a few slow running backs at like 83 speed, and I was like, man, you ain't gonna, I don't know what you're doing with them, but he worked it out. Big ups to that, and much respect to what he did and what he's going to do with his hometown team. The Pittsburgh Steelers. Waiting to see what he's going to do with the Killer Bees.
Oh yeah, I'll be surprised. I'll be surprised if he has a bad season, especially season one, with those Pittsburgh Steelers. You got anything, Chris?
Yeah, one thing I noticed about that boy Good, man, was he brought defense, like solid all around defense to the dynasty, man. Like the guy finished, I believe, ranked one in the 2022
Mm-hmm.
season. So I noticed, like, I mean, he had that defense, but what I'm really looking forward to is this Pittsburgh Steelers, man. I want to see what he's gonna do with that offense, man, because it's like I'm surprised if he don't average like at least 45 points a game. Because it's like, who can you defend on that offensive side of the ball? Like, he got everybody all around, which he lacked. And man, 16 is just so many solid pieces that he have. Like, but I'm also looking to see what he's gonna do with that defense, because that defense has a few holes missing. And me and him had a personal interview where he told me personally that he likes to finish at the top of the conference and the top of the league as far as ranking top defense. So I'm just looking forward to see what he's going to do with that defense. But like I said, man, he's an all-around great user also. Not surprised why he made the top list.
Yeah, he's definitely. I mean, he's got some work to do, like GM wise on the defense side of the ball. But man, that offense, he's gonna do. I think he's gonna do amazing things with that. You want to talk about like defense, man? He's got it. That's just one of the guys that gets defense. And big ups to him for doing great things here the last few seasons in Dynasty. SJ, you got anything on that boy? Good.
Yeah, just like the Jets, he got better every year. Seemed like, especially towards the end, and I think he's just a couple DBs away from doing the same thing.
Yeah, he's. I mean,
Those battles between him and
say again. Those battles between who?
King Vitamin and him, Brown Steelers.
Oh yeah, dude, that's another game to watch every single week, or every time they play. So that's. But all right, so that was number 6. Coming in at number 6, Dat Boy Good. Moving right along here, coming in at number 5. This guy is in the chat. Number 5. That's you, Mr. Chris, aka Terradome, aka used to be Chirac. Coming in number 5, Terradome with the Oakland Raiders. Controlled the Chicago Bears in Madden 16. Came in and right away was doing big things with them. Picked up he utilized Kevin White really well his first few seasons here, and then got some pieces around Kevin White to finally take him to the big dance. Me and him, I remember there was one season, me and him, I think I was like 14-0. I was 14-0 at the time. I had him second to last game, man. I saw nothing but I saw a perfect season in my vision. I didn't really know anything about him, man. I heard about Kevin White through the grapevine, aka Ness, and he told me about Kevin White, and I was like, all right, man, I gotta do is shut this guy down, man. I'm 15-0 rolling into week 17. Man, I came out there, man, played some lackadaisical defense, and he showed me, he put it on me, man. I'm talking like, I don't even remember the score. I don't even want to think about it, man. Kevin White did his thing, though, and ruined my perfect season. I think I got you back in the playoffs that year, though.
Yep.
I definitely, haha, Clinton Dix was all over Kevin White. That entire game, man. They probably. I'm surprised Kevin White and haha Clinton Dix didn't go to dinner or nothing later, man, because Clinton Dix is all over him. But that was one guy that I really regret underestimating, and he really it wasn't just a one-time thing. He did it for 3 straight seasons with those Chicago Bears, getting him a ring in the 2021 season, winning the number 1 overall pick, and taking the Oakland Raiders. So he's going to do huge things with them. Winning the biggest season of them all. He's got to be on the list, coming in at number 5. I think with a little bit more tenure, a little bit more longevity, you would have been even higher on this list. Or if you didn't have to play me in the playoffs 2 years in a row. I'm just messing with you, man. But yeah, man, big ups to you, man, doing big things with the Chicago Bears. and getting you a ring, getting you that 2021 ring. So, Ness, you got anything on Chirac, aka Terradome?
Of course I do. It's Kevin White, Antonio Ward. Antonio Ward, Kevin White. Man, let me tell you, when he came in the league, he inherited a team that was in disarray. He had a 94 speed quarterback that, most users wouldn't know what to utilize him with. The arm strength wasn't where it needed to be, but you got a 94 speed quarterback. You can build up arm strength. And that's what he did. He brought his game, and I'm not going to lie to you. All he had to do was say, Kevin White, run to the end zone. I'm going to throw it as far as I can. It reminded me of Randy Moss in his rookie season. Throw it, go get it. I had the pleasure of playing Terradome 3 times. I can say I'm 3-0. I got lucky. I would say, because really it's not luck in Dynasty, it's skill. So they were all close games. And you can tell when we played, it was him watching Ward, me watching White. And, it was just whoever made the last play. And I know you remember the game where I went away and I used my friend's game and we were playing and I got the fumble on your running back. And he was like, oh, man, that's BS. And I wound up winning that game. That was back and forth. Kevin White did his thing no matter. I put 4 or 5 players on him. He did his thing. We talk on the side, about the picks that he was going to make for the 2021 season. I'm happy that he got the team that he wanted with Khalil Mack and that David Carr, Amari Cooper. He's definitely another student of the game where he's going to shake it up. He's going to trade away an Amari Cooper, or you give him enough, maybe trade away Khalil Mack, but he's looking 3, 4, 5 seasons down the road. He's not looking like, I got a 99 rated player now that can, take me to the promised land, but maybe I may get 1 or 2 years out of him. So he's looking to get pieces. 99 rated player, you can get 5 players for that, solidifies you in regards to longevity. Real quick, I know that he grabbed TJ Ryan. I remember me and him was talking during that draft, and I was like, you might want to. He was like, I'm looking for speed. I'm like, well, I scouted this dude, and he's like a 97 speed, but he's like 5'6". He was like, oh, for real, who is he? I was like, TJ Ryan. He grabbed him, built him up, and when you got Kevin White streaking down the field on a 7 route, and you got TJ Ryan on a slant, it's pretty difficult to. And then you got to worry about the 94 speed quarterback because if that pocket breaks down, we got Vic in 05 reincarnated. So, definitely does what he needs to do, plays within the system that we have within the Dynasty. And, fruits of his labor is the 2021 Super Bowl championship, which afforded him the #1 pick. He had 32 teams to choose from. So big ups to that, man. And I'm looking to see what you can do with the Amari Cooper or through the draft and grab a Kevin White 2.0.
I will say, I think what really, whenever you really turn the corner is whenever you learned how to play without Kevin White, though. I think that's what really took your game to that level. Because I wouldn't say you were one-dimensional, but you really heavily relied on Kevin White. But then once you figured out, like, all right, Kevin White's just gonna, he's gonna get his, but I'm not gonna lean on him. I got other pieces I can use now. And once you got that, man, that's when you really went to that next level. So big ups to you on that. SJ, you got anything for on Terradome?
Actually, I don't. We're deep in trade negotiations, therefore I'm gonna.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm gonna just real quick again on him. That playoff game where that week 14 game where you were 14-0 and you were playing him. Yeah. I was like, listen, he's very nice. He's going to throw it deep. He's going to throw it short. You don't take him lightly. Beans is like, oh, I got it. I'm watching the game like, no. I'm just watching and I'm just like, wow. Because that was the season that you went 15-1 and beat me in a conference championship game, went to the Super Bowl, and that season you was on your dean, you was doing what you needed to do. But that Bears team, like he just the unknown kills, and I was just like, shh, you can't take anyone like me in Dynasty, really.
I won't ever do it again. You taught me a lesson, man. You taught me a lesson. But you did your thing, man. You did beat me. I'm not gonna give myself any excuses, man. You handled me pretty well that game, and I couldn't adjust, and that's one of the things I pride myself on is my ability to adjust on the fly, and I just couldn't do it that game. So you took me out of my game. So, you did a damn good job doing that. So all right, moving on. That was number 5, Terradome. He will be taking over the Oakland Raiders. Number 4, my good friend. He taught me a lot about the game, and I hope I did the same for him. Coming at number 4 is Mr. Enos himself. This guy, you want to talk about like discussions about other players. You want to talk about draft strategy. You want to talk about gameplay strategy, labbing together, man. You want to talk about all that stuff. This guy, me and him, man, we were always in each other's ear about such and such. Always come to each other about like, hey man, what do you know about this guy, man? What can you tell me? And we would have a pretty accurate scouting report. And unfortunately, one time I didn't listen. But no, this guy really, one of the things that like people overlook is what he did with so little, especially at the quarterback position. You look at the top guys in the league, and you'll see them coming down the line. You had Terradome, who had Trey Jeter. You had Keystone, who had who do you have at quarterback? What's his name? Damn it, I have notes on it. But he was a good quarterback too. And then you had, Weedham Boys had, Russell Wilson. But what I'm trying to say is, man, what you did with Brett Hundley, and I can't even who'd you have before that?
Matt Ryan, I think.
Matt Ryan. Who you won the MVP? Did you not win the MVP with Matt Ryan?
Won the MVP.
Yeah.
On a 1 year free agency contract, won an MVP with Matt Ryan. Like,
so he deserved that spot just off that alone. So we can just move on to the next. We can move on to the next guy. He won the MVP with free agent.
A 1 year free agent deal with Matt Ryan, man. You're talking about doing a lot with a little at quarterback, man.
But you guys fail to realize, man, I had Sam Badford who got hurt, and then I played 5 games with Bruce Gradkowski. Bruce Gradkowski. And I went 4-1, but man, I have yet to have a solid quarterback. So hopefully in 17 wins, I can look other places, because every year I've been in Dynasty, I've been in free agency looking for a quarterback.
Yeah, he was playing with pretty much everybody else's junk, and he did really well with it. His game, I think his game plan is one of the best. He's got one of the best schemes out there. Especially on the offensive side of the ball. On defense, he's gonna make you adjust. He's not gonna let you do the same thing over and over again. It's not gonna work versus him. You drag a couple times in a row, he's got it covered the next. And most likely he's taking it to the house on a pick six. You throwing corner routes, man, he's gonna get out there and he's gonna cover it himself. And it's just he's gonna shut down what you want to do and make you do something different. And that's what he does so well. And he beats those guys that can't adjust, and he does it with perfection. And then the consistency he had in the league was just fantastic. Coming in with what he had and doing what he did every single season was I think that's what has him at number 4, is doing what he did with what he had. And Chris, you got anything on Mr. Ness?
Yeah, of course, man. When I talk about Ness, man, you talking about a guy that's going to be competitive throughout the whole game. It's not one point in the game where you could just be like, you know what, I'm going to fall back. I got this game in the bag, because he's going to keep coming at you. You also got to mention that monster that gives me nightmares every time I play him, Antonio Ward. If you think for 1 second that you're going to miss him or not recognize where he's at on the offensive side of the ball, touchdown. When I played him, another thing you hit on was the key point of adjusting on defense. I noticed when I played him, it was times where I had a play where I was like, all right, this guy open. Now I hit it. They come back the next drive and be like, oh, I got it again. Here he come out of nowhere, interception. So all around, I think he's a great user. I mean, he's somebody that's competitive, that brings that not, I wouldn't say I'ma earn it, but demands respect. Like, I mean, but all around, he's a great user. Man, he brings a lot of other things besides just playing his game skills to the dynasty as far as working on other things, man. So all around, he's a great guy, man. Great guy.
SJ, you got anything on Mr. Ness?
No, he stole Antonio Ward right out of my hands, so I do not have anything to
You say,
say. Next, please. Next, please.
I'm gonna say one more thing. As far as like the GM side of thing goes, Ness is probably one of the best out there. The ability to get the pieces he needs and his scouting whenever it comes draft time. Antonio Ward, like Chris said, the guys that he drafted, the guys that he has reports on. Man, it's it's just outstanding to talk to him around. Draft time. So that's definitely a guy I really go to in a lot of cases. So that was number 4, Mr. I Am Enos. He will be keeping the Philadelphia Eagles, man. True homer for the Philadelphia Eagles. He got Carson Wentz now, so I look forward to him doing big things. Coming at number 3, on my personal list, this is inaccurate, mainly because I'm hard on myself. But I'm not going to say much, but coming in at number 3 is myself, Beanbagz.
Beanbagz.
I started off with General Snags, a.k.a. Beanbagz, Mr. Rams, rip him apart. He actually, I reached out to him. Me and him built a very good relationship, real good friend. He actually got me back into Dynasty. I started off as the Colts. I had to leave for some personal reasons, and I got that itch to come back like Brett Favre, and reached out to him. He spoke with Dion and them and got me back. Constant and professional, man. Like he does what he needs to do. He schemes, he labs. I hate to say it, he's so dedicated to Dynasty and Madden, he lost his lady. That's her loss. Great guy here. His user skills up there. And he labs so much and he knows what he wants. Like, for example, him taking that Rams team, ripping them apart. I'm talking taking away players where guys are just going to keep because of the overall. He doesn't see overall. He sees potential. He's looking at development traits. He's looking at what their stamina is, and based upon how he wants to play the game. And that's evident in his consistency. Prior to the 2022 season, it's either Nastynupe, myself, Bears, and the Rams that were on the top of the NFC conference within the playoffs. And he actually had that 15-1 season where he came up 3 points short in the Super Bowl to the champ, the Jags. But then he came back 14-2. So it's consistent. Like he knows what he wants. He knows how to get it, and he's not afraid to take a player that everyone would be coveted for. That's a 95 overall middle linebacker, but he's slow. He doesn't fit what I'm trying to do, so I'll use him as trade bait. And he's quick to put him on the block. I'm not going to say this. I'll keep saying this. We have students of the game. Like it's more than just Madden. You got to take real life situations because we're trying to be a sim league. So therefore, you got to think in real life.
Right.
Love playing them, hate playing them, because it's either he's going to come out smoking or I'm gonna come out smoking. But my one chance to go to the Super Bowl, I wasn't gonna lie to you, I was smoking him. I was busting that butt, and then the weather hit, and as soon as the lost connection, I told him, I said, it's over. Yeah, you won, and that's all she wrote. Madden gave me the one chance, and he went on. Nothing but luck for him. But he lost Priester, so I'm hoping that with Brock Osweiler, and the thing that he lacked in 6 teams, he did not have speed anywhere on the field. Like the Rams had to be slow as molasses, but now he has Fuller, Braxton Miller, Lamar Miller. He has Osweiler. He got DeAndre Hopkins. So he has weapons, and I'm excited to see how he does what he's wants to do with the team built for what he wants to do.
Yeah, Beanbagz, man, he's an all around great user, man. I remember that game. I'm looking on my schedule. I see this guy undefeated. I'm like, oh man, what I'm going to do? How am I game plan? Like what? Never played the guy before. All I see is his record. Came out there, man. I won the game, but after winning that game, he became the thorn in my side. I could not get past him in the playoffs. Like he came out and he was one person I said that was dedicated to locking down Kevin White. I commend him on that because that made me have to elevate my game. I just kept thinking like, dang man, why can't I beat this guy? Like he locking down Kevin White. There's other guys over, but I can't make the play. So even though like I said, like he's a great user, he can help you develop your game. Like so that's why I like to call him the developer because like he's always reaching out, trying to help guys, give guys points on their games, how to get their guys on track and stuff like that. But he's also able to get, like Ness said, guys that fits his scheme and develop them to where as though they're top production. Like he have a, like he said, like have a wide receiver for instance that has poor speed but great route running. Some guys have cut them players in a minute, but he'll look at it like, you know what, this guy can get open and he can be plays for me. So, like I say, he's also a great user as far as managing the team on and off the field. He brings a solid game to the dynasty as far as making guys adjust, making guys think. But like I said, though, man, he was a thorn on my side. Knocking me out the playoffs 2 years back to back. But like, he helped me elevate my game. So big up to him, man. Like he help out guys even when he's beating you. He's still helping you out because he helped you develop your game a little bit better. So let's keep up the good work, man. I'm looking forward to, like Nuss said, that high-powered, fast-paced offense that the Texans bring, man. I'm looking forward to see what you're gonna do with him, man. I'm looking forward to see what you're gonna do with him.
All right, SJ, you got anything, man?
Yeah, I think the number one thing that you're going to like about that team compared to those Rams you had was that.
Hey, you broke up there.
So you don't have to worry about him going down like Priester.
Oh, the 96 injury? Have a little technical difficulty with SJ. I think he said that Brock Osweiler has 96 injury. Priester, my quarterback, he had 80 injury, man. I think he went down probably like 20 different times. Man,
yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
He would sneeze and his collarbone would be on the sideline.
Yeah.
But
we started taking bets of when he would actually get hurt. That's how serious it was.
That's how bad it was. But like I said, I don't have myself this high on the list. But I do appreciate the love from the voting committee and everything. So appreciate y'all on that one. But moving right along here, I'm going to number 2. Talk about consistency always there in the NFC. Finally getting it over the hump and getting that ring he so desired in the 2020 season. Big ups to him for finally doing that. Coming in at number 2 is Mr. Nastynupe, the commissioner. You want to talk about a guy that makes you think, and like every single time I play him, man, it's like I gotta bring something different because if I bring what I did before, he's just gonna shut it down even more. And his secondary was a thorn in my side. I could not. Like the way how he managed to build that team the way he did, I will never understand. But man, he did so well with it. On the offensive side of the ball, he will pick apart your defense. Man, you shut down one thing, he's going to another. And the guy, he taught me a lot. As far as the game plan side goes, and I every single game I played him, I learned something. And you want to talk about one of the hardest guys I've ever played. Man, that Nastynupe is there. So coming in number 2 is Nastynupe. He will be remaining the Atlanta Falcons, staying true to his fandom, keeping the Atlanta Falcons. Ness or Chris, whichever one you guys want to talk first. I know both of you guys got something. I'm sure SJ's got something on him as well because they have history. So I'm going to let all 3 of you guys talk, starting with I'll let Ness go first.
Yeah, definitely. That's my guy, man. Nastynupe, Dion, Combustible Nupe, fellow frat brother to Mish team, and definitely a homer like myself. We talk probably all day, every day about Madden, how we're going to build the league, and also, how he built his team, me getting pointers from him. When you think of the Falcons in Madden 16, you think of defense. Everyone knows, if you know real football, the Atlanta Falcons out the box are not one of the upper echelon teams that you want to play with online or connected franchise, either or. But he, traded away players that didn't have as much value as we would have seen them to have value, and got players that he needed. I remember one game I was playing him, because I think I played him at least 2 times a year on a regular season, and then always seemed to run into him in the playoffs. And, he was like, that shit, I need to get this monkey off my back. And he finally beat me, and then he went on, to the Super Bowl that year, which unfortunately he lost to the Jags. But that was a 16-0 season that he had. But he said the 16-0 didn't mean anything because, he didn't win the game, which makes sense. We were playing a game, and he had a cornerback that I was toasted. I'm talking about burnt toast. And he took him out. I didn't see that cornerback the rest of the game. About 8 or 9 weeks later, that cornerback, he shows me that he basically took extra time and built that cornerback up to his team standard. There is no I in Atlanta Falcons at all. And that's true to how he plays. Like, he doesn't care. He won't have an Antonio Ward. He had a very fast wide receiver in Penn, and that he built up, and also his tight end that he built up from nothing. But other than that, he had Julio Jones. He had Telvin
Coleman.
I forgot his last name.
Telvin
Telvin Gordon in the backfield. So if he sees that you're playing him long, he'll play short ball. If he sees you're playing him short, he'll play long ball. He'll see the man coverage. He'll throw the curl. He'll run the inside zone. He'll run the toss. Like, he's very strategic and methodical about what he wants to do, and he doesn't care who gets it done on the team as long as they get it done. And, hats off to how, he commissions. I'm definitely learning a lot. We definitely, go back and forth with, decisions where it's like, man, I have to reach out to him like, man, I'm about to do this, that, and the third. He's like, let's think about it, let's talk. He calms me down and vice versa. We definitely have a great relationship in regards to that. And, he just, you learn so much. I learned so much from him this season that I'm going to implement next season. And, I enjoy playing him a lot. He's definitely someone on my schedule where I'm like, I got to, take a shot or something and get ready, calm the nerves, because it's going to be a big game. So definitely well-deserving of the number 2 spot. Got his Super Bowl in 2020, got that monkey off of his back, and always consistent, always at the top of the NFC. So I'm looking forward to see that NFC North Division, I believe.
South.
Correct? NFC South, sorry, with the Panthers, the Saints, and Buccaneers. It's gonna be tough, but I believe that he's gonna do what he has to do, like he's been doing since the dynasty was implemented.
All right, Chris, you got anything?
Yeah, of course. Nuke, man. Nuke. First off, I would like to mention my first year in the Dynasty, I made the playoffs. It was a little tiebreak between me and the Packers. I got the cut, made the playoffs. I decided I played the game. I played against the Vikings. That was a late night game. I played it. I said, I got to get up for work. I'm just going to kick off tomorrow, play my playoff game. He hit me up in the inbox like, you get it in. So I'm like, all right, cool. So we playing, going at it. I believe I scored a field goal that put me about 3. Like a minute and some change left on the clock. I'm like, this guy's at the 20. There's no way he's going to march this ball down the field on me. My defense, they picked up the pace. I feel like I got him in the grabs. There's no way he's going to march down the field on me. He get a little short play. I'm not worried about it. Play action play. I'm seeing the play develop, and I'm trying to get my defender over there. Tight end, wide open. I tackle him. He hurry up offense, brings it right back. Now, I'm keying in on the tight end on this play. I don't know what the tight end was made of, but I'm keying in on the play. Keyed in on this tight end. I'm keying in onto him. Play action again. Tight end, wide open. close the door on my little playoff run. But when you mentioning, man, like everybody mentioned already, you got to mention that Bloodhound secondary. I don't know what he feed them guys out there in Atlanta, but them guys, man, is vicious, man-to-man coverage. He attacks you with his linebackers, defensive linemen. Solid defensive user, man. Solid defensive user. As much as you could talk about his defense, you could do the same as with his offense. As far as, like Ness said, if you playing him deep, he a short ball. If you playing him short, he a deep ball. So he definitely makes guys, think and bring out the best in some people. So all around, he's a great user, man. Like, great user. He's sticking with the Atlanta Falcons. I'm looking to see if he's going to bring back that vicious bloodhound secondary. I'm praying that he don't, because I don't want to run into it until I have my offense where I want it. But, I'm just looking forward to see what he's going to do with the Atlanta Falcons, man, because he definitely, like Ness said, a lot of guys wouldn't pick Atlanta either in a friendly or on a connected franchise, but, he's sticking in with them. So that right there shows you that the guy trusts what he do, man. Like, he's just built into what he do, man. So I'm looking forward to see what he do, man. All around good user.
All right, SJ, you got anything on Mr. Nastynupe?
Just great commission.
SJ, you cut out there.
100% honest. Gonna give it to you straight. So you can really ask for it.
Yeah, Nastynupe, man, he's a great guy. Like I said previously, definitely every time I played him, it was, I had to think every single play. There wasn't a play where I could say, I'm just going to do this and then come do this. No, I had to, every single play. I had to, sit there and think about what I'm going to do. And, I believe, I don't, if my memory serves me correct, I am 0-2 versus Nastynupe. Both games were close. But man, the entire game, man, it was like doing math homework, and the guy brings it every single season, and I look forward to seeing what he does in Madden 17. He's got a little bit of building to do, but once he gets that team right where he wants it again, he's gonna be there every single season, without a doubt. So that's Nastynupe number 2. Going in at number 1, the unanimous number 1. He was number 1 on everybody's list, smoking everybody in the points race. Coming in at number 1 is the 2-time champ, Mittens. 3 times he had back-to-back Super Bowl appearances, winning 2 of them. 1 against myself, 1 against Nastynupe, and then he lost to Nastynupe the next season, I believe. Is that correct?
Yep.
So he lost. 3 straight trips to that to the big dance. I think the year I played him, he came out of the wild card, but once he hit playoffs, man, he turned it on. I think he was like 10-6 or something like that, and he came out and he really once playoff time hit, he turned into a different animal. So you want to talk about one of the best playoff players in the league? This guy's number 1 easily. And then, he really turned that Jags team into what I think they're going to be in Madden 17, and that's, a powerhouse on both sides of the ball. Great user, covers the middle really well, keeps you from, attacking the middle of the field. You have to go the outside on him, and even then, it's no guarantee because he's still there. Offensively, man, he just picks apart your defense, man. It's methodical. It's like, watching science. The guy, he is fantastic on both sides of the ball. The most balanced user in the Dynasty, and he definitely deserves his number 1 ranking. This is Mittens, man. I look forward to labbing with you in Madden 17. I look forward to playing you Week 1. I got you right out the chute, Week 1 in Madden 17. Looking forward to that. And then, I can't, you got a little bit of building to do with those Chicago Bears, but you proved that you could do it with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I look forward to seeing what you do in Madden 17, but that's Mittens at number 1. Chris, you got anything on Mittens?
Of course. Mittens, first of all, Mittens just became my best friend, because he got my boy over there, Kevin White. He trying to work out a deal, But Mittens, man, back-to-back champ. You got to place that at number 1, man. Back-to-back champ. But I like to call him a problem solver, man. The guy just knows how to win. I played him one time. And, everybody shooting me DMs how he plays. So I'm thinking, like, this guy is, like, the guy that comes out with the big explosive plays. So I'm sitting there, I'm on the edge of my seat, a little pre-hype before I played him. But once we got into the game, I just seen that he had a solid, basic, take what you give him offense, and it just was like the guy knows how to win, man. I thought I had him down, but champions do what champions do, man. They find a way to win. That's all. The number one thing that hits on me with Mittens, man. The guy just knows how to win, man. But he taking over the Bears. That team is, we all know, all around gutted. So for him to, pick the Bears, select the Bears, that's showing you right there, man, that, GM skills is about to be put into play, man. Like, don't no guys just sit there and be like, oh, I'm going to take the Chicago Bears. Unless you actually know what you can do. And like you said, you see fires in the line. But, shout out to Mittens, man. I'm hoping we can work out a deal for Kevin White. But, yeah, man, all around good user, man. Back-to-back champ, baby.
Moving down the line, Enes, you got anything on Mittens?
Yeah, Mittens is definitely just he's a great user and just a great guy. Like, after he beats you, he says, "Good luck, dude, on the rest of your season," and he's genuine. And you be like, "Man, I can't." He reminds me of Larry Fitzgerald, where you can't talk trash to Mittens because he's just gonna say, "Dude, you're great, thank you," and keep moving. So you don't mad at yourself. But the history we had is that again, when I started with the Colts, Mittens was the Jags, and Mittens was trash. We both were trash, trying to get out, just trying to have a winning season. So to see him progress to where he is now, to like the number one player in Dynasty, hands down, is pretty amazing. It shows how, if you put your mind to it, you scheme, you become, again, a student of the game, you can see the fruits of your labor. That 10-6 season that he had, where he won the Super Bowl the first time and beat Beanbagz, I beat him week 17 handily. But then he ran through. So I'm back in my mind, I'm always thinking, like, what if? What if I would have beat Beans? Could I have been a Super Bowl champion? Neither here nor there. The next year, we thought it was just a one-year wonder. And he had a better record, and he became the face of the AFC. He went 3 times, won 2. He could have went 4 and 5 if it wasn't for, life happening, But during that time, even when he was away, he was just thanking us, he knew we understood that, it's just a game, but he went through what he went through, picked himself back up, came back, and, picked up where he left off. Definitely a great person, very humble, takes losses and wins the same way. I know. And then, his name, I asked him, I said, do you really have, cats named Mittens? And yeah, I got you. That just shows you, like, what type of guy he is. Like, he's just down to earth, chill. He plays the game, has fun, and, doesn't bring any static his way. So I'm definitely glad that he's doing, what he's doing. And I'm very, very happy that he's back. Because I want to get a core base of users, and he's one of the ones that I consider to be family within Dynasty. Sky's the limit, man, and kudos to Mittens for getting his Bears that he wanted, from the beginning. So he's going to build them up, and like you said, if he doesn't trade Kevin White to Terradome, I can see him tearing it up, and he loves it when you use it at middle linebacker and you running around. He's like, okay, right up the middle for a 6-7 yard gain, slide his quarterback. So he does what he needs to do with what he has. So definitely glad that he's number one, and everyone saw that. It was easy choice.
Yeah, easy.
Definitely a unanimous decision there. Him and Noop were like, I think there's only one list. Noop wasn't number 2. Those 2 guys. And we all know that list. But, these 2 guys, definitely deserve 1 and 2. Mittens, fantastic user. Like you said, overall, great guy. Always down to play anybody in a friendly, because I think I'm talking to him, we're going to be labbing in 17, helping each other out. And then I got playing week 1. So that's something I look forward to. What you got on Mr. Mittens, SJ?
Back-to-back Super Bowl champ. uh, like Ness said, after every game, good luck with the rest of your season, and he really means it. You know what I mean? No trash talk, no BS. And then let the best man win.
Yeah, he's definitely, you can't, like, if he beats you by 60, you can't even get mad at him because, he's like the nicest guy, probably the nicest guy in the league. But, I mean,
Right, because you can get a good game after winning.
yeah, and you, like, he's, just a genuine
He
guy.
means it. Like, good luck with the rest of your season, and he really means it. So,
Yeah.
Mims is a cool guy.
Definitely deserves number one in all our opinions. And,
Yeah.
curious to see if he can come out the gates number one in Madden 17 with those Chicago Bears. I think he's got a little bit of building to do, but he is the guy to do it. Doing it with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I look forward to seeing what you can do in Madden 17 mittens. Big ups to you for taking those Chicago Bears. That's gonna be a challenge, but I know you're up to it. Definitely deserves number one. So guys, this has been the top 10 users of the Dynasty. This has been Power Talk, counting them down. At number 10, we had Weedem Boys. Number 9, we had Fellow Craft. Number 8, we had SJ Fresco Bomb. Number 7, we had Keystone. Number 6, we had Dat Boy Good. Number 5, you had Terror Dome. Number 4, you had I Am Enos. Number 3, you had Beanbagz. Number 2, you had Nastynupe. And at number 1, you had Mittens. This episode of Power Talk was brought to you in part by Madden School, where you can take your game to the next level. Just use promo code DA Dynasty to get 20% off their unlimited package. Man, it's a great deal. So this has been Power Talk. You guys ready to wrap this thing up?
Yeah, man. Great discussion, man. Great discussion.
Absolutely. Anybody got anything for the show?
Just thank you all for listening. Thank you all for what you do for the Dynasty. I definitely know that this list will fluctuate as players get better. So we definitely probably will revisit this, but the Dynasty is taking off, man.
Absolutely. SJ, you got any closing words?
Till next.
Already, man, a very few words. Chris, what were you gonna say there, man?
Yeah, one thing I want to say is, if you feel that your name ain't make the list, man, like what I do is, I know what I would have did was I look at it, I put that chip on my shoulder, man. Put that chip on your shoulder, hit the lab up, and just bring it, man. 17, man, just bring it. Because I definitely would have had it. I definitely walk around with a chip on my shoulder, man. Like, you got it's big boy time, man. Big boy league. So bring it, man. You gotta bring it. Bring it to make that top 10, man. Bring it to make that top 10. That's all I got to say, man.
Absolutely. All right. So, guys, this has been Power Rankings top 10 users of Madden 16. Rolling right into Madden 17 on Tuesday. We'll probably be revisiting this list. Like Ness said, this probably will never look the same again. So, be on the lookout for the next one. Congratulations if you made the list. Also, congratulations if you were mentioned. And looking forward to those who make the list down the line and talking about why they're there and all that good stuff. So here's to Madden 17, good riddance to Madden 16, and let's keep this train moving, DA Dynasty style. Peace.